joining us. I'm Ansmane Sonyasi, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Here are the main news headlines. As Hajj rituals continue in Makkah, pilgrims have left Mina on Monday evening and gathered at Arafah on the second day of Hajj. We hear from our colleague who is with the pilgrims. And ahead of the usual pre-Tobaski cross, we visited the ferry terminal in Banjul on Tuesday to assess the situation there. Also, as the Muslims' Feast of Tobaski approaches, we visit the Gambia Transport Service Company in Kanifing to speak to officials and passengers ahead of their journeys. And in international news, a 2-week training course on the building blocks of social protection with some Gambian attendees is currently underway at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya. Stay tuned for more on these and other stories. Now, as Hajj rituals continue in Makkah, pilgrims have left Mina on Monday evening and gathered at Arafat on the second day of Hajj. Babukar Sise is with Gambian pilgrims and he filed this report from Arafat.
Today is the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, second day of Hajj, which is the most important day of the entire pilgrimage. At Arafah, pilgrims will devote all their time in prayer, seeking for Allah's forgiveness. Located in Arafah, Jabal Rahma, the mountain of mercy, holds a significant meaning as this was the location where Prophet Adam alayhi wasalam and Hawa alayhi wasalam were reunited, and also where Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam delivered his final sermon during his final Hajj.
Owi kalako yotie hajju rugoduao.
Pilgrims will leave Arafah tonight and travel to Muzdalifah, where each pilgrim will pick pebbles or stones for the symbolic stoning of the devil at the 3 Jamarats, which are in Mina. The first day of the stoning of the devil will be on Wednesday, the day of Idul Adha or Tobaski. Babukar Sise, QTV News, Jabal Rahma, Arafat.
Now, Idul Adha, commonly known as Tobaski in the Senegambia region, is celebrated annually by Muslims all around the world. It is celebrated the day after the day of Arafat. However, in the Gambia, it is now the norm for people to celebrate the Holy Feast on different days. Alusise visited the ferry terminal in Banjul on Tuesday to assess the situation.
It is a quite unusual scene here at the ferry terminal in Banjul, where Gambians will join other Muslims from around the world to observe Idul Adha, commonly known as Tobaski, in the Senegambia region. Here at the ferry terminal in Banjul, thousands of people are crossing over to the Bara end to celebrate the Eid with their family members.
At the ferry terminal in Banjul were large crowds of people anxiously waiting to join one of the 2 ferries in operation at the time, Kunta Kinte Ferry and Kanelai Ferry, to different destinations across the country to celebrate the Muslim feast of Idul Adha, locally known as Tobaski, with family and loved ones. Difficult as it may be to deal with a huge crowd of impatient travelers eager to cross over, some senior personnel of the Gambia Post Authority Ferry Service, including Fabakari Manka, Director of Revenue Control, Gambia Post Authority Ferry Service, and Padauda Sanyang, Acting Director of Operations, Gambia Post Authority Ferry Services, have been busy coordinating the operations. Speaking to QTV, Mr. Manka gave assurances to the public that they were doing everything possible to cross over everyone safely, despite an increased number of travelers this year.
Yeah, actually, we thank God this year because it's among the most successful operation that we ever had. In a sense, we have all the 2 ferries flying, without any problem since on Friday. So, being the case, that makes it more, successful. Yeah, we didn't encounter any problem so far. And as you can see for yourself, since in the morning we are only ferrying passengers because of its volume. So we had to keep all the vehicles on hold until we are able to clear the passengers for safety reasons as well.
And talking about safety, one will be very much concerned about the number of people that the ferry carries, because in such occasions, people don't care whether the ferry is overloaded or not. All they want to say is they get into the ferry and cross over. What are you doing to make sure the ferry is not overloaded?
That's why we limit the number of passengers that we use. Okay, we try to liaise with ticket sellers. So there is a number. If we reach to that, we have to stop it. And besides, we don't allow vehicles to join the ferry. We only take passengers, you know. So that takes care of the safety aspects.
He called on the passengers to exercise patience and cooperate with the ferry service personnel for a smooth crossing. While they commended Mr. Manka and team for the good work as they expressed excitement at joining their families, passengers told us they will also want to see a much more reliable and faster ferry service. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, still on the Muslim feast of Tobaski, as it approaches, our colleague Loliam Kamara visited the Gambia Transport Service Company in Kanifing to speak to officials and passengers ahead of their journeys.
I am informed that operations have started as early as 5 a.m. I arrived at the bus station at exactly 6:30 in the morning to see a brother off, and the place was already jam-packed with people intending to join one of the buses to their various destinations. As Gambians prepare to observe Eid al-Adha on Wednesday by going to visit their hometowns and villages, the Gambia Transport Service Company is intensifying efforts to provide buses for the upsurge of travelers during this period. Modu Lamin Fati, Corporate Planning Assistant at GTSC, states that, as is customary each year, the company puts in measures to ensure that people wanting to travel have enough buses.
Yeah, we have enough buses. If you can remember, just some few months ago, the president commissioned 70 new buses, and these buses are already en route, and they are there to provide the transport service for the passengers.
GTSC provides transportation to different destinations across the Gambia during the festive period and provides special services, Mr. Fati explains.
The fare is normal, all right, but there are other special services that are injected in our services. But these special services are not things that are customarily used. So, but we just injected these special services to cater for the demand that would arise.
Despite all efforts being made to ease transportation in the country, there are a few challenges officials continue to encounter during this time.
We have some communication challenges, managing people, a crowd of this number, it's something that is very, very difficult to control. Sometimes you call people in this particular bus, whereas they are responding to another bus. So, but we have got tents all over, all right, which is easy for people to identify. If you're going from Kanifing to Basse, there is a tent allocated. If people are going from Kanifing to Brikama, to Soma, or to Bansanga Makati, there are tents allocated. So whenever you come, it is easy for you to identify your tent and be there. When your bus comes out at your specified time, then you board and have a safe journey.
Ali Sow and Jara Jabi, who were both traveling to Basse for Tobaski, expressed their satisfaction with the process.
I
came here very early, so I can get a bus to travel with. Luckily for me, I got my ticket on time, and already I know the bus I'll be joining.
Things have worked out for me smoothly. I must thank the President for the foresight in providing the buses around this time. I am also happy about the manner the GTSC staff are handling passengers. Omar Jiba is one of the drivers on standby, also had some words of advice.
Seeing such crowds is like a prayer being answered. We are more than ready to transport people to their destination for the feast. As you can see, we are on standby for any emergency call. So my advice to my fellow drivers is, let's respect our passengers and drive with care. I pray for Allah's mercy throughout our journey.
The Gambia Transportation Service Company was established to facilitate easy and timely movement of people and goods within and outside the Gambia. To enable these, authorities say close to 30 buses transport people daily, but all that is possible thanks to the President's recent commissioning of 70 new buses. The transport operator gives an assurance of their continuous service delivery to the public. However, they also emphasize the need for pre-bookings to minimize delays at the bus station. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
Well, wishing all travelers a safe journey and joyous Tobaski feast. And we now take a commercial break, but we will be right back.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles.
Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow. To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back from that commercial break. A reminder that you're watching QTV News, coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Now, this sixth batch of the Chinese medical doctors delegated by the Chinese government has arrived in the Gambia to carry out a mission of medical assistance. The team, which is led by Dr. Yong Wang, was received on arrival by officials of the Health Ministry, including Dr. Mamadou T. Nyasi, Deputy Director of Health Services. Here is an excerpt.
On behalf of the Minister of Health, the entire ministry, the Honorable Minister, I would want to take this opportunity to welcome the sixth Chinese medical team in the country. As the PRO Principal Public Relations Officer I already mentioned, is that Chinese medical team has been contributing immensely to support our health system in this country. The team they are providing today is a team of 10 medical doctors, 1 gynecology, 1 pediatrician, 1 general surgeon, 1 cardiology, 1 radiology, 1 anesthetic, 1 intensive, just to name a few. But these are highly specialized medical officers who are coming to strengthen our Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital.
I'm delighted to be here in the beautiful country of the Gambia.
非常感谢冈比亚的朋友们给我们这么隆重的欢迎仪式。
I want to say thank you to the friends in the Gambia to give us such a welcoming ceremony.
我和我的这几位队员们都来自不同的科系。
My teammates and I are coming from different departments.
甚至大多数来自不同的单位。
And even we are coming from different hospitals in China.
他们都是在各个行业的精英或者说佼佼者。
They are elites and quite excellent in different professions.
我们经过3个月的相处培训，我们现在团结一心，紧密协作。来了冈比亚之后，我们会在大使馆和卫健委的领导下。
We are having a good time after 3 months training, and now we are coming to the Gambia under the leadership of the embassy and the National Health Commission.
And from that excerpt now, we take a look at international news in a moment. So a 2-week training course on the building blocks of social protection is currently underway at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya. QTV's Janaba Sonko is among the participants of the training and Sina reports.
In 2016, the government of the Gambia launched its first ever national social protection policy with an accompanying implementation plan, and a social protection secretariat has been created under the office of the Vice President. 5 officials of the Secretariat are currently building their capacities on the building blocks of social protection at the Kenya School of Government. This 2-week course is meant to build the capacities of officials to support the government's focus of building a robust and sustainable social protection, coordination and delivery mechanism. The social protection course convener, Patrick Mumo, says he appreciates how African governments are beginning to see social protection as an investment rather than an expenditure.
Because we know every money spent in social protection, it is very important for the long-term development and growth of the country, but also for the protection of the citizens of that particular country. So for the Gambian being here for these next 10 days for this program, I think it's a very important commitment on the part of the government of Gambia to invest in the people so that they can build the capacity to be able to drive in the design, development and implementation of social protection programs.
There still exists extreme poverty and inadequate access to basic health and educational services in the Gambia. Adequate human capital investment and tackling the root causes of poverty are required to change this. As such, the social protection experts are needed to ensure the right decisions are made for the changes required. Malang Jawo, Communications Officer at the Social Protection Secretariat, is one of the course participants.
Social protection is a cross-cutting thing. It's a dynamic field that we need to continuously keep learning. Every time we have the opportunity, we should take advantage of that. So here, the team that is here doing this training is very important for us, so that we'll be able to improve the way we are able to operate in this sector, and also improve the coordination of the social protection programs that are existing in the country.
Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the vulnerabilities of a lot of African countries, Gambia included. This is partly due to the fact that these countries lacked proper social protection systems where they exist a proper secretariat, where staff capacities have been built, the required funding is available to actually support vulnerable groups. Now, with this training where personnel from the Social Protection Secretariat are being trained to deeply understand what social protection really entails, will go a long way to ensure that projects are in donor driven. They understand that when projects with donors ends, there is still individuals' lives that they need to change and look for ways to tap into different funding opportunities to actually change the narrative when it comes to individuals living in the country in relation to education, health, disasters, and the list goes on. Reporting for QTV News from Nairobi, Kenya, I am Jennifer Sonko.
Now, 27 June is commemorated globally as Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Day to raise awareness of the tremendous contributions of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Lena E. Gwinyiba reports.
The United Nations General Assembly designated June 27th as the International Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Day in recognition of the importance of MSMEs in promoting economic growth and job creation, and highlight the crucial role of MSMEs in sustainable development and advocate for policies that support their growth. This MSMEs Day will focus on supporting resilient support chains to ensure workers and the environment benefit. Supply chains are a critical component of global trade and commerce, and conflicts, disasters and pandemics can quickly impact their functioning, increasing cost and making transactions more difficult. MSMEs and self-employed workers serve a core function in the development of economies. Globally, they represent about 90% of all businesses and account for over 2/3 of employment. If adequately supported, they can effectively contribute to the structural transformation of economies and drive inclusive, sustained and equitable economic growth and jobs. According to the United Nations, 600 million jobs will be needed by 2030 to absorb the growing global workforce, which makes SMEs development a high priority for many governments around the world. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Now, due to a technical hitch, we could not bring you this story yesterday. The giant panda enjoys large-scale conservation and a celebrity treatment at home, and also uniquely represent China's friendships with the rest of the world in what is called panda diplomacy. QTV's Mohamed Lamin Choi reports on China's love affair with the panda.
Every country has what it associates as its animal and national treasure that has particular significance and meaning. The world's second largest economy has its own, being a rare, calm and popular creature, the giant panda. They are mostly found in the mountains of western China. The Chinese province of Sichuan is known as the hometown of China's giant pandas. Visit this part of the country and you can see and feel how the panda beats the popularity of almost everyone or anything. In the Sichuan city of Chengdu, one can hardly turn around or visit anywhere without seeing pictures, paintings, people in clothes, headbands or bags bearing the figure of the giant panda. The popularity of the bear is a source of income for many, as there are several panda shops and plenty of customers. Tang Xiaomei owns this panda shop.
Other people love to buy the panda here. Now the business is good, but still now it's not as good before the pandemic. But anyhow, people come here traveling, have meeting, they all love to buy the panda as souvenir.
Being China's national treasure, the panda has benefited from one of the world's largest conservation efforts by the Chinese government. The result of such action has translated to the panda clawing its way to being removed from endangered to vulnerable species in 2016. There are nearly 2,000 giant pandas in existence today, all of which are officially owned by China. According to statistics, in early March this year, there are currently around 66 giant pandas residing outside China, including in the US and Japan, which were once loaned or gifted to those countries by China. This is widely referred to as panda diplomacy, as it is used as a friendship bridge between China and foreign countries. Earlier this year in the US, media reports about poor health conditions of two Chinese pandas, Lily and Yaya, broke out. After deteriorating health condition, Lily passed away at a zoo in Memphis, Tennessee, leaving Yaya in poor health condition, seen here looking thin and bony.
Once a symbol of Beijing's goodwill, now the center of angry debate in China. This panda in Memphis, Tennessee has become the latest victim in worsening US-China tensions.
The poor health status of the giant panda Yaya sparked anger among panda lovers in both China and the US, and a campaign for its return to Beijing.
Boy, that's so heartbreaking. We grew up with her. Are you from? I'm from here. I'm from South Haven. I came when they brought him.
20 years ago?
20 years ago, I was here to greet them. And the sad thing is, this is the way, say goodbye.
After 20 years in this zoo, the giant panda Yaya was finally flown back to China in April this year and arrived to a rousing welcome at home, where it is receiving some medical care. Lily's tragedy was that both pandas were due to return home in 2023 at the expiry of their loan to the US. Pandas are naturally kind, and for China, the panda symbolizes the country's peace, harmony, and friendship, in addition to strength. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News, Beijing.
And I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains on this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap from main headlines. As Hajj rituals continue in Makkah, pilgrims have left Mina on Monday evening and gathered at Arafat on the second day of Hajj. We heard from our colleague who is with the pilgrims. Ahead of the usual pre-Tobaski cross, we visited the ferry terminal in Banjul on Tuesday to assess the situation there. Also, as the Muslim feast of Tobaski approaches, we visited the Gambia Transport Service Company in Kanifing to speak to officials and passengers ahead of their journeys. And in international news, a 2-week training course on the building blocks of social protection with some Gambian attendees is currently underway at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi, Kenya. And finally, just a word on the election in the Sierra Leone. President Julius Maada Bio has won a second presidential term after scoring 56.1% in the recently concluded election. Samura Kamara of the main opposition party, the APC, scored 41.1%. I take that again, 41.1%. And I'm afraid that's all we have for in this bulletin. But Do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, do have a wonderful Tobaski. Thank you.